Hi, I'm Danny Lipford.
And I'm Chelsea Lipford-Wolf.
Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a like and a comment.
And be sure to share with a friend, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos.
Thanks and enjoy the show.
This week on Today's Homeowner, we're taking to the web to bring some of your favorite Pinterest project ideas to life. If you're a pinner, you'll love it. If not, stick around. You may be in a half hour.
Now, you might recognize this house. We did a lot of taping here a few months ago for our First Time Homeowner series. And the first time homeowner was my daughter, Chelsea. She worked so hard in all phases of this project to get it in the shape that it's in right now. Now, after the remodeling part of it, she moved in to the decorating phase and got a lot of her inspiration and ideas from Pinterest.
Pinterest is kind of like a virtual bulletin board, pin board. And you just kind of pin your favorite things, you know, whether it's a recipe or home decor, fashion, or little household tips like how to get certain stains out of your laundry.
So people, your friends or whatever, are sharing all of this to other friends and acquaintances.
Right, yeah, that's where
kind of
the social network aspect comes in, is that you're following your friends, and whenever they pin something, it comes up on your page, and so you can see what your friends are interested in, and then if you like it, then you can take it yourself. Let me show you one of these that I've been working on, my latest one. I saw it and I liked it, but I don't know where to put it yet. But it's
okay, what is it first?
I call it a yarn chandelier, and I blew up a big balloon and then dipped yarn in glue and wrapped it around it and let it dry. Then you pop the balloon and it comes out, and this is what you get.
That's pretty good. What else you got?
I got some other things that are installed in here. Kind of look at this light switch.
What, did you just put wallpaper over it?
And it's just really just a piece of scrapbook paper that I got at the craft store.
Oh, you nailed the color and everything. Pretty cool.
But I used the same piece of paper to make these little canvases over here.
You made these?
Yeah, with cut the leaves and the birds out of scrapbook paper and then painted the branch on there. And I have even more projects in the kitchen that I can show you too.
Yeah.
I found this chart on there. And most of the time you just pin it, and then whenever you need to cook something, you just go to your Pinterest page and you find it. But I decided to print it out and put it where I'd be using it.
It's pretty cool. Cheat sheet, just exactly what it is.
I keep it handy. And I also have one for the laundry. Like, you never know what all the symbols mean. And then I took, the old lady who used to live here had a whole bunch of mason jars, and I decided, I saw this to make a soap dispenser out of it. So I took one of her old mason jars and repurposed it.
Seems to fit the style of the faucet here and the style of the sink and everything.
That's the point.
All right, what's the deal with here? Looks like another project coming up.
That's why I invited you over.
Wait a minute, what? What is
project? They're peel and stick tiles I'm going to put under the sink to protect the bottom of the cabinet and to make it easier to clean.
Yep. I guess we got. Whoa! Look how much stuff you got in here. I just dropped by for a visit.
Yeah. You should know better.
When the cabinet is empty, we clean the bottom surface and begin laying out the tiles.
All right, so up to you. We can put one right there and then cut those equal on each side, or slide them like that and put your cut over there. What do you want?
Let's make it a little harder and make it look pretty.
Okay.
Center it.
Okay. How did I know you were going to say that?
From there, it's simply a matter of measuring and marking the cuts we're making with a utility knife.
Let's see if that won't break in half.
A simple scoring cut will let you snap the tile before you cut the face. Placing the cut edges against the walls of the cabinet will give you a much cleaner fit.
Oh, this is tight.
From there, we're just repeating the process for each tile until it's done.
And I found this on Pinterest too. A way to organize the spray bottles. You put it underneath. You put it underneath a little tension rod under the sink cabinet, and you hang the spray bottles, the sprayers, on here. So it kind of keeps them up off the floor, and you can see them all at once.
Well, you got a bunch of spray bottles.
I do, yeah.
The beauty of this trick is that it's easy. Just adjust the spring tension on the rod so that it fits snugly between the walls of the cabinet, and you're ready to hang up those cleaning supplies.
You kind of have to tilt them a little bit, don't you?
It's all right. I don't clean that often anyway.
Well, that makes the dad proud. But if she did, she might like this simple solution from Joe.
We all know the importance of recycling, but another option is to repurpose an item for another use. In this case, I have a 2.5-gallon plastic water jug that I'm going to convert into a tool caddy. I started with a black marker, I drew an outline around the ends of the jug, and then with a sharp utility knife, I cut out the ends. What you end up with is a tray that looks like that. By leaving the bottom half of the jug and the handle intact, you have a nice carrying jug that you can use for tools, in this case hand tools. And although it's not a very big space, you'd be surprised how many tools you can jam in there. And because it's made out of plastic, which is surprisingly strong, it holds quite a bit of weight. I can jam all these tools in there, and because this handle is in the center, it's nice and balanced. Now in this case, I'm using it for hand tools. But you can also use a jug like this for cleaning supplies or spray paint cans, automotive supplies. So if you buy these jugs regularly, you make several of these trays and you'll have the tools ready for every job around the house.
This week, my daughter Chelsea is educating me on the wonders of Pinterest. And it appears that the point here is to rope me in to doing some of her projects.
Well, as you can see, there's all kinds of ideas you can get from Pinterest, from very small projects to those that are a little more complex. We're about to look at some things here that Chelsea's going to show us, different kind of finishes that you can use on furniture or just about anything around your house. But first, let's check in with Alan, who's working on a project that's a little more involved.
All right, now see, I like this one.
He's been scouting our Pinterest board, and he settled on a cool craft center for his daughter.
See, the legs right here is actually a frame, so when you fold it up, it looks like it can frame a picture on the other side. I've got a little 6-year-old that wants a craft desk, and I'd like it to be a homework desk too. But on the front of it, remember we talked about this? I love this. When the desk is folded up, the legs actually become a picture frame. And so on the front side of this, which would be down in this position, we want this poster. And of course, she's a big Disney fan, so I'm gonna have this poster on the front of it. So the desk I build has to fit the poster.
So after a little layout, he starts making his cuts. A cut list is a big help when it comes to getting the most from the materials you have.
Oh, I can get two of them.
The sides, top, and bottom of the unit will all be the same width, so Alan is using a table saw to cut them all to exactly the same width before he uses a sliding miter saw to cut them to length. Putting them together will require a different kind of cut called a dado.
And basically, a dado is where the shelf will fit into the side, just like that.
To make those cuts, he's using a router and a straight edge to cut that 3/4 inch groove or dado into the sides. That way, they support the shelves, and the glue and the nails that follow are only needed to hold the pieces together. Now, because he's using plywood for all of these parts, Alan is covering the raw plywood edges with narrow strips of solid wood to hide that fact. The frame that doubles as the legs for the desk is made from solid wood, so the corners are mitered together to help it look like a picture frame. To add strength and a little dimension, he's adding a layer of brick molding on top of that before he begins priming. And leave it to Alan to come up with a trick to speed up the chore he hates so much.
Check out what's underneath. It's the bed of nails. That actually will hold this up off without damaging the paint on the other side. So now I can paint the other side before the other dries.
Once the primer has dried, it's time for a little putty and light sanding before the top coat goes on.
Watch this.
And finally, this Pinterest project is ready for installation. While Alan has made his little girl very happy, apparently my work is just starting.
I want to do a chalk paint, which I already have on a couple of pieces of furniture, and it makes it easy to like sand the edges and make it look kind of antique.
Antique, yeah, that's what you have in your living room.
Exactly, a little shabby chic. And so that's what I'm going to put on this wine rack, and it's just I'm using leftover latex paint that I have from the house, and then I'm going to mix a little bit of plaster of Paris, which will make the paint really hard.
Huh. And no priming, no anything, huh?
No, that's kind of, I think where the plaster kind of comes in. You can do it on a piece of finished furniture without sanding or priming the finish off.
Oh, that's different. That's different. What
And
about
then,
this?
Yeah, this one you're going to help me with is a a crackle finish, and I painted the flat black, and then you'll put glue on it.
Glue.
And, yeah, as the glue dries, it kind of pulls the paint apart. It makes it look crackly, or like kind of like alligator, like you said.
I've never heard of
But
that.
what I like about it too is that you can spread the glue as ugly as you want, and the top coat as ugly as you want, because that's how it's supposed to look. It's supposed to look imperfect, so it makes it easy, which is why you're in charge of that one.
Right.
Okay, I guess we'll start crackling right after this.
You know, painting is probably the #1 DIY project. Why? Because it's very easy to do and you get instantaneous results. But how can you make your results look like a professional did it? Well, you need to prime the walls or the surface that you're going to be painting if it's new bare wood, if it's a new drywall surface, or if you've got stains that you need to cover up. Now, Kilts has a whole line of primers that are great to use, but I want to talk to you about the one they've come out with called Clean Start. Now, typically when you're using an oil-based primer, you can get a very strong odor, and some people find that offensive. But this right here is water-based, and it has an extremely low odor, so you probably won't even know that you're using a primer when you apply it. Now, that's a nice thing, but I think a better thing to point out is that this has 0 VOCs. Now, what are VOCs? That is volatile organic compounds, and some people can find them as an irritant or offensive. So if you're sensitive to VOCs, this is the perfect application. So if you want to get professional results every time, get a good paintbrush, get tape to tape off around your trim, and get a good primer, and you can start with the Kilts Clean Start.
Pinterest is kind of like a virtual bulletin board.
This week we're exploring projects from Pinterest, the online bulletin board that lets you swap project ideas with friends. And my daughter Chelsea has conned me in to a refinishing project. For reasons I don't fully understand yet, I'm spreading a coat of wood glue all over this table.
It looks like it might be a little thick, you think?
Yeah, I know, this is weird. I'm having fun. Painting with glue. People sure do spend a lot of time and money to make things look old these days.
Meanwhile, Chelsea is working on her chalk paint recipe, which involves adding plaster of Paris to latex paint to make it more sandable. The details for this recipe are on our Pinterest board if you're interested in giving it a try.
And your glue's not getting too dry on top, because you have some spots that are thicker than others.
No, it's still wet.
Well, what about the thinner parts? Are they still wet? Oh yeah, that looks pretty wet.
It's a little tacky, but I think I'll be able to get through
Okay,
putting this coat on there.
it's okay, you're a little tacky too.
Eventually, the recipe is ready, so Chelsea can stop abusing her dad
Just kidding.
and turn her attention to painting.
All right, I'm nervous. Here goes nothing.
And it's supposed to cover with one coat?
Yeah, I'm not sure since
Of course, if it's a little streaky, I guess it's okay, huh?
yeah, it's also supposed to kind of make it where the brush strokes aren't as obvious.
I guess that does already look better than that old dark stain stuff.
Yeah. You know, this is a piece of furniture from your house.
Do you have enough wine to fill it up?
No. Can I borrow some money?
This is weird, because it's still damp, but I guess that's where you need. How's that going?
And I'm pretty much done, at least with the first coat.
Well, I'll go ahead and open this up. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Let us crackle. But it does it over, like during the drying process, right? Theoretically.
Yeah. Oh, I like that color.
It looks like it's actually doing something over here. Look at it right there.
Oh, yeah. You missed a little.
Oh, don't start pointing out there. Let me go over here. Look at these runs over here on that.
That was your side.
It's covering pretty darn good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess the paint will stick to it pretty well because it's got a lot of glue on it.
Soon we're done painting, and it's obvious the glue is working. And I have to say, I'm surprised at how cool it looks.
Man, that is unreal now that this is dried, the reaction the paint had with that glue.
Yeah, I was skeptical. It looked like it was going on so smooth. I didn't know how it was going to crackle, but
That completely changed the look
Yeah,
of
you
that
can-
piece of furniture.
you can see that it needs to dry a little bit more because it's not
Well, I'll
black
tell you what,
yet.
let me move this back over here, and then I can help you put the second coat on the wine rack.
So after another coat of Chelsea's homemade chalk paint and a little drying time, the wine rack is ready to be distressed.
It's a shame to go and
Rough it up?
And rough it up. I don't.
Nah, it's part of the fun. Doesn't it look older already?
Just looks like had some bad movers moving into your house.
Now this kind of sanding would probably make ordinary latex paint peel, but the plaster of Paris seems to be doing its job.
Oh, that looks good. Yeah. Whew, I think I'm done.
Is that the way you wanted it?
I think so. I want to look back from over here and
Step
see.
back and take a look at it.
Yeah, it's slightly distressed. It's just what I wanted.
You know, this really surprised me. Actually, it even cracked even more, and I understand the black paint that you put on it now because that's exactly what's shining
What
through.
shines through, yeah. 'Cause
That is wild looking. I just never ever expected that you could paint glue on something like that.
know.
All right, well I think we're in good shape.
All right, well, I do have one more project for you outside.
Uh-oh, what are you talking about?
I saw the picture of a picnic table with a rain gutter replacing the middle board, and you put ice in it, and then it keeps your beverages cold while you're hanging out at the picnic
Feel like a
table.
little channel under it.
Yeah.
Now this project seems more my speed. To remove part of that center board, we first need to relocate some of the supports.
There you go.
Alrighty.
You want me to show you how to use that?
Yeah. Well, you'll get a chance.
But we'll add a 2x4 right here, flat.
Okay.
Before we knock this board out, we're going to put these 2x2s in.
Okay.
So let's see, we got 49 7/8.
These 2x2s will give us a place to attach the rain gutter later while keeping it beneath the surface of the table.
Most helpers would have the speed square right in my hands right now.
Good thing I'm not a paid helper then.
Yeah, who'd you charge all these materials to? This is really working out well. Heck, this is all in great shape. We just need to take that board off, cut it, and we're ready to mount the gutter. So I think we can do all of that from up top.
So once we flip the table over and pry the center board loose,
Hey,
I want to do that.
I can't believe that. Well, I think we can just lift it up.
Just one side?
I'll tell you a trick here. Take this, just like that, and move it down there. See there?
it's simply a matter of marking it and cutting it so the pieces at either end can be nailed back in place. Then the remaining piece can rest in the middle to cover the rain gutter.
I think we're ready to go ahead and cut the gutter. Why don't you just bring it on up here? I'll get some of this stuff out of the way.
You'll need a pair of sheet metal shears to cut the gutter to the right length. Sides first, then the middle. Then the end caps are sealed in place with caulk before we slide the gutter into position in the table. Sheet metal screws driven into those 2x2s will hold it in place.
Tell you what, that gutter couldn't be a better size, could it? That is perfect.
Now we just have to replace those diagonal braces we removed earlier, one on either side of the gutter. Then we can add our own little additions. A drain hole.
Oh, there it is, drain hole done. All right, now.
There it is.
And a finger hole to remove the gutter cover.
All right, well, there you go. I think we're good. Let's put up these tools.
Arthur wants to know, how do I repair a nail pop? First of all, a nail pop in drywall occurs when there's movement in the wall stud, whether it's moisture like we have here in the shower, or you have any type of expansion and contraction in a wall stud, then the nail will surface through the drywall finish. To repair it, it's fairly easy. First of all, you have to remove the nail, which is fairly easy with a flat bar or needle nose pliers. Then replace that nail with about 1.5 inch drywall screw, and you want to recess it just slightly. Then apply 1 coat of drywall compound, allow it to dry, sand it a little bit, then another coat, sand it, and you're ready for the touch-up paint. Now, if you do this the right way, you won't have to worry about that nail pop ever again. We've covered a lot of ground this week. There's lots of cool ideas out there, from knickknacks and organizational ideas to woodworking projects and furniture finishes.
Well, put up all the tools, all the materials are taken care of. I see you're trying it out here.
Yeah, just a few little refreshments.
You know, this is really perfect. You know, you have all the beverages right here at your fingertips, have enough room so that, you know, if you have a few people over in a little party, you got plenty of room here. It really worked out well.
Yeah, well, that's why I had you come over today, because I am having a few people over.
Really? What do we have?
Well,
Oh, wait a minute.
I was hoping you could help cook too.
Okay, you see, it just never ends. You always have to do a little work when you're over at your daughter's house. Hey, thanks for joining us this week. I hope you had a good time looking at some of the Pinterest projects that you can take on around your house where you spend very little money, but you can have a lot of fun with it. I'm Danny Lipford, Chelsea Lipford. We'll see you next week here on Today's Homeowner. All right, where's the charcoal?
Well, as you can see, There's a clumsy thing that runs in my family.
Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to like, comment, and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified of new videos.
And be sure to click around and watch some more videos while you're here.